Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So we are back here again. Welcome to this morning session. So we continue from where we stopped the last time. The last time we were talking about back end, if I recall. We were talking about back end application development. So today, this morning, we are going to continue from there where we stopped. Uh, our people online, please, is everyone with us? Can you hear us? Can you hear me? Sorry? Okay, let me share a link. Okay. All right. Okay. She said the audio is very loud and clear, very visible. Uh, so let's continue from where we stopped. If you remember, the last time we were talking about components of back-end technology, right? And in the component of back-end technology, we looked at programming languages, right? We looked at servers. Last class, theoretical class, we talked extensively on servers. We discussed much more on servers, right? So this morning we are going to continue from where we stopped the last class. So if you remember, we downloaded and installed a software, right? What's the name if you can remember? Zam server. Actually, that software, it's a server on its own. Like I said, it helps make your application, your website, live in the, on the air. It kind of makes it hosts it. Yes. So that is the word. It hosts your. So please, can you see my screen? Our friends online, please, can you see my screen? Is my screen showing, please? Our friends that are online. It's like it's blank. Okay, it's showing now. It's showing now. So please, let's continue from where we stopped. Open your Visual Studio. Visual Studio. Please open Visual Studio. Yes, VS Code. Please go ahead. Go ahead, open your VS Code. Then go to the top right, right? You see Explorer. Click on Explorer. Click on, sorry? Yeah, top left. You see Explorer. Click on Explorer. What did you see after opening Explorer? Did you see something like open folder, open repository? If you remember the last time we opened the folder, right? What did we name it? You can remember what we named it? What we named that folder the last time? So please click on. If look at this on this home screen, you might have recent on your own. Do you have this recent? If you click this recent here on the home screen, do you have recent? Okay, so if you don't have recent, if you don't have this recent, from here click open folder. Open folder and then navigate to where you saved the file we created last week. Are you there? Are you all there? Okay. Okay. So I'm coming. Let me check it out for you. This my online people. Are you with us? I'm coming. No, it's an existing folder. You have to get it back. Open to this actually. Open to this. Okay, please assist us with that. Okay. Yes, is that something that I know? But HT docs. HT docs. Okay, that's one and then select it. That one then. Select one and then okay, please. Okay, how you see your file is up. Move to page one. So are we all on the same page? All right. Okay, madam, please, are you okay? Sorry? Yeah, e-commerce system. So please navigate her to the actual project. A little patient, our online people. Still trying to get some people up to our speed. And I hope all of us online are on the same page right now. Madam, are you with us? Yes. Okay. Well, the good thing about this, you don't really need the internet to do what you are supposed to do. Yeah, but we still want it, right? We are going to still want it, but not need it. Yes. So are we good to go? All right. So next is, remember I told you, like for your entire project, right? Whatever you're going to do, once the project starts, the first thing, once you launch your project and it starts, the first place it navigates to is the index page, right? That's the index page. So right now we are going to start coding the index page. We are going to start coding the index page. So for that, right? So because of the language we are using for this particular uh, session, so first of all, it goes like this. Are you with us? Are you guys with us? No, this. Okay. All right. So first of all, you do angular brackets like this, right? After the angular bracket, you can do two question mark. You see, it has opened a suggestion for you. Two question mark like this, like this. Are you seeing what I did? First of all, do this to start with. Angular bracket, PHP, the angular bracket question mark, PHP, then another next line, question mark, then angular bracket. Okay, what this means is that for everything you are going to write in here, right, it's a PHP code, right? So that is what it means. And this is how you create it, you write it. Remember, we're talking about back end. No, you should close it. Look at the opening here. The opening is here. This is the opening, and this is the closing. Okay. Remember, we're talking about back-end application development, right? So this language you're using is a back-end. It's actually a server-side. It's called a server-side script language. Yes, please, your question.
The question mark is
Yes. Okay, I pressed enter.
press enter is on two.
No. Yeah, you can press another enter again. Yes, you are supposed to put the question mark. You see, like the question mark here, another question mark here, the angular bracket, and then right here we have the. So this language is actually a back-end language. It's it's used for back-end development technology, right? For scripting language. There's a technology. There are different languages that we mentioned for front end. If you remember, I mentioned HTML, CSS, and then JavaScript, right? We are going to work with them here. Also, we are going to work with them here, and this we are also going to do the backend. So let's continue. Let's continue from here. Remember last week we were creating a database. That was where we ended the class, right? We were creating a database. Remember? PHP, my admin, SQL, and all that. We also go back. We also go back to that. So what we are going to do now is, because this is a back-end technology, the earlier database we created, it has to work with this end we are going to create, right? Because that's where the data will be going from our front end here. The data will be going to the database. Yes, and if we need it, it will be coming from the database. So now, what we are going to do, we are going to, okay, like in programming, there's a what we call like it's part of, let's say, a conventional approach. It's a professional approach to always comment your code. Why is it a very good practice to comment your code? So that each and every line of code or block of code, you know what it does, you know what it stands for, right? And secondly, of course, sometimes you might write code, and then after some time you might need to come back to it for easy debugging. If you look at the comments, you know, okay, no, this code particularly handles login. This code, okay, handles registration. This code handles calling certain data from the database, you know, sending it to the database. That is a very good professional approach to programming, commenting your codes. And thirdly, you might be the developer of that system, right? But you might not be the one to maintain it. You might not be there when there will be need for any other thing on the system. So it is a very good practice, because if another developer comes, set of developer, or you're working in a team, when they look at the code, they will know, okay, yeah, this code handles so function. This code handles so function. So that is a very good practice. So now, what I want to do inside here, and to comment your code, usually use double slash. No, not the hashtag. You use double slash. And if you use double slash, the compiler on its own, or the interpreter, will know that, okay, this is a code. So when it's compiling the code, it will skip that, right? It will skip that as part of the code. Yes, and then it will know this is a comment. So this is for single line. This is for single line commenting. That's when you do the double forward slash, like I did here. But if you have a block of code, let's say like 24 lines of code, 24 lines, 30 lines, and you want to comment it, what you do is you put the forward slash, use asterisk, right? And then that is at the beginning of where you want to comment. And then if you go to the end of where you want to comment, you still do another asterisk like this, and then with a forward slash, and then everything in between will be commented. So the compiler or the interpreter knows, okay, this block of code from here to here, it's actually a comment. So it will ignore it. It will ignore it when it's compiling. So now, because what I want us to do right now, I want us to connect to that database we created, right? I want us to connect to that database we created now. So we're going to run a piece of code. So, and in this language, to create a variable, we have to create a variable called maybe connection, right? So it goes like this, $sign, okay, comment first. Let's say database connection. Say database connection. So you see, anything that comes after this line, you as a developer or as a programmer or anybody with a developing and programming experience, when he looks at this, you know, oh, okay, this code is handling database connection. Well, okay, this code is handling database connection. So to do the connection, first of all, you have to create a variable, and to create a variable, it denotes with a $sign. Yes, a $sign. Then we can say con, CONN. We can name it anything, right? You can name it anything. All right. So, okay. I said, whenever you want to create a variable, right? And to create a variable, you are going to use a $sign. $sign. When you use the $sign, this language, the compiler, the interpreter knows, okay, this is a variable you are creating, right? So you use $sign. So because it's a connection we are trying to create, we are creating a variable called connection. It's going to handle all the data that is required for the connection inside that variable. You know what a variable is in programming? Okay, it's a container that holds element, right? That holds information. So what we are trying to say is the variable we are creating here is going to hold the connection information, like the data required for the connection, right? So we are creating a variable because it's connection. You can name it anything, right? But for conventional practice, I'll name it connection. And now maybe I can say CONN, right? Variable con. I'm naming the variable con. Connection. So I'm putting connection in shares, right? All right. Then it will be equals to. It will be equals to, right? Then this is where we are creating this thing. So it's new. My SQL. Right. So now, what is saying, this connection, right? This variable connection, right? So it's creating. We are going to put a new MySQL data to it. Information, right? So it will now be there will be some parameters inside that. The parameters inside that. So first of all, we have the server, right? The server. Which server are we using to host our database? Localhost, right? Good, right? So you now write localhost, right? Okay. Do you know why you are using localhost for now? Okay. Why we are using a localhost at the moment is because, sorry? Yes.
We can access the data now. There's no particular.
Yes. At the moment, your computer, if you hear localhost, anyway, you hear localhost on computer, it means your computer. It means your computer. Yeah, your computer is a host, but it's local, right? So it's hosting it locally. That is what it means. That is what it means. So what you are working on now, it's going to be hosted actually, but it's going to be hosted locally.
No one can browse it.
No, at the moment, it can only be browsed on your computer. However, if you want it to be viewed by every other person, for example, at the moment in this class, I'll show you how to do that from your own computer. Everybody in this room can view what you are doing. Like when you post it, your application, what you are doing. As long as you are connected to the same network, right? As long as you are connected to the same network, we just need to know the IP address of your computer. Right? We just need to know the IP address of your computer. That is all. If you have the IP address of your computer, it can go. So for this local host, actually, it can be the IP address of your computer. You can replace that. That's what the server. You can replace that. And remember, the last class when we were talking about what were we talking about? Is it the server, right? Domain name server, where I said every site on the internet, every website or a portal or system, like we have www.something.com, right? The computer does not know that. It doesn't recognize that. What it recognizes is the IP address, right? 127 dot something something dot something dot something something. However, there is what we call a DNS server, a domain name system server. So what that is, it is basically a database, that domain name system server. It's basically a database that maps IP addresses to domain names. Domain name is www.so.com, right? And then the IP address is 127.198.0.0.0. So every computer on the internet communicates via that. Is it your mobile phones? Every single laptop, every single desktop, every iPad, every tablet, all these things, like they communicate over the network using that. So what the domain name system is, because that is the language that the network understands, that is the protocol that they understand. However, for us human beings, we cannot put all that into our head. We cannot cram all that. For example, you want to go on Facebook.com. Of course, you have to remember it's 110 point something something dot something 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 something. You want to go to Google dot something dot something something. I have a website. Okay, I want you to have the address of my website. I'll just be giving you digits, numbers. For us human beings, come on, it's not stressful. So that is how it is. So that DNS system matches for every Facebook.com, for every Instagram, every website has its own IP address, and then it's matched to that unique. So basically what I'm trying to say is that DNS holds the IP addresses matched to the domain names. That is it. So in your browser, when you type www.mybusiness.com, yes, so it goes to that DNS system. It checks where is mybusiness.com. Okay, mybusiness.com is 100.1.1. Okay, so the internal goes there. So now for the computer as it is, I said your computer is always the local host. So for that, it has an IP address of 127.0.0.1. It's equivalent to writing the local host here. Every computer that is its address, local host 127.0.0.1. Yes, it's a local host. Yes. So now the server, right? And then we have root. Okay. And then we have root, right? Root.
All you can have the same
Yes.
how do you identify various
Okay. How you identify various networks on a computer is the computer on its own, right? Inbuilt on its own. It knows me. My address is localhost. It's 127.0.0.1. Only me. But if I want to communicate with somebody, right? There's a it's going to be on the network. That one is off network. The 127.0.0 is off network. It's off network. Even if you are connected to the internet, that one is off network, right? So, but once a computer is on a network, right, it has another external IP address. It has another external IP address. So on every network, the network that other computer will be used to communicate with other, it has another IP address that will be used to communicate with other network. But that local host is used to communicate within itself, just within itself. If you want to communicate within itself, but if you want to communicate to it another, it has its own IP address. So that is how it works. That is how it works. So, like for example, let me show you something. Let me digress a bit. If you type cmd command prompt on your computer, right? So and then you say ip config, right? So it will show you the network information of your computer. So now it will show you the network information of your computer. So I think this information I should not be showing because of some dangerous people online. That was my mistake actually. That was my mistake. So I'm not supposed to show all this information because now I've made myself vulnerable. Yeah. So
So how can you undo it?
sorry.
How can you undo it?
The way I can undo it now is to go offline. Is to go offline and then probably maybe change the network. Yeah, change the network and all that. Yes. So, but by the grace of God, we are covered. Yes. So, so this root, the root is basically like, sorry, username. True. Absolutely, it's the username. Then this space blank here is the password, right? So usually the password is blank, unless by default the password is blank, right? So it's also advisable to leave it blank when you're dealing with just localhost only self or you. But when you are having a lot of uh, people dealing with the thing and all that, and you're afraid of scammers and then other malicious guys, so it's advisable to use the password. So if you remember, what did we name the database? Who can remember?
E-commerce DB.
E-commerce DB, right? Okay, yes, we named it e-commerce DB. However, let's check it. Let's start the XAMPP server. Let me start the XAMPP server and then open the database and then see so that I can show you practically. Yes. So, mhm. So now I'm open. My online people, hope you are with us. Are you following us? Hope we are not too fast. So if you remember, this was it, right? The XAMPP server. So this Apache is the server. It's the one that will help you send it out. You start it, right? It's starting. It has started. And then we come to here, my SQL, and then start, right? So we are starting it. So we've started the server right now. That is what we just did. So we now go to your browser. If you remember, now click on your browser. After clicking on your browser, you now go to localhost.
Sorry, my Apache is ticked.
Is what?
It's ticked X.
Ticked X. All right, I'm coming. A minute. Let me. Okay, it's already running. That is why. Okay, but you don't have to worry about this. Don't worry. So just in your browser. Okay. So on your browser, 127, like you don't really easy. That's the thing. You are going to bring the confusion here now. So that is exactly what I'm saying. If I write 127.0.0.1 and somebody that writes localhost is the same thing. You understand? Because localhost is translated to that 127.0.0.1. So let's you see, let's okay, no, this one is Google search. I don't want to search. Okay, now I just 127 sorry, 127.0.0.1, right? So this is what it will show. If you remember here, are we here? Okay.
It's not what it is.
Sorry, you Google searched it, I guess. It brought you to Google page, right? So you Google searched it rather than okay. So don't let it enter Google search. Don't let it enter Google search. Don't let it enter Google search. Okay. So all right. So are we all here? Okay. So can we proceed? All right. So here you see PHP my admin, right? You now click you now click on PHP my admin. I don't know why is my system a little bit slow. So my system is a bit slow. Uh, I don't know why it's a bit slow. Why it's slow? All right, are we all here?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So if you remember, this is what we created the last class, right? This one, e-commerce DB, right? This one, e-commerce DB, right? E-commerce underscore DB. So now let's go back to our text editor.
Nobody uses this system.
Seems like what?
Nobody uses this system.
Okay.
Because the one I use the last system was this.
Okay.
E-commerce design. Can I create it?
Yeah, you can create it. You remember how we created it? You should have remembered how we did that. You should remember because we spent so much time explaining and then yeah. So now here you put the name of the database ECOMMERCE e-commerce underscore DB, right? What is here? Your browser. So what is here? Here, right? This name e-commerce here underscore DB. This name is what we are going to use here. Are we all on the same page?
Yes.
All right. So should we proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry? So should we proceed? Online people, are you with us? Please, any question? Okay, can we proceed? We can proceed, right? All right. So you now come back. Let's come back to our text editor. Mind you, every line is supposed to be ended with a colon, semicolon, right? Don't always forget that. You should end every line with a semicolon. All right. So this will handle the connection to our database. This particular line of code with it. That will handle the connection to our database here, and all this will be inside this variable con. That is what we did. The name of the database which we have here, right? The password here, which is empty. We don't have a password. Then the username to the server, right? The username to our database server, and then the server itself, which is the local host, right? Because look here. Uh, Up here it says server 127.0.0.1. So that is the server we are using, the local host. So peradventure, when you want to take your system to the world, actually, like, you can change the server and then to put it on a live server, or I mean, you can just need all you need to do here is change the parameters. Is change the parameters here. Maybe the address of the server. No, the 127 is localhost. Remember? Yeah, you can change it to something else. Server will be live, yes. You can just change it to something else. That is all you need to do. So that is basically what this line. That is what basically all this line is saying. So now to proceed, now, let's look at and see, is our connection successful? Like, is our connection successful or not? Right? So how do you go about that? So you now go on checking if our connection is successful or not by if, right, condition, then dollar con, CONN, right? Basically, which means if the connection, this one, the one that we created, up here, this one, right? This one, right? The one that we created, up here, the one that was created up here. So that is that variable, right? Somebody will just record it. So if it's you do this, then you put connection connect underscore error. So basically, what it's saying is, if there's error in the connection, right? If this and then connection error, then let's see what should happen if this condition. That is what it basically means. That is what it basically means. So then the next is die. Sorry, die. Die. My keyboard. Then do connection field. Comma dollar CONN. Connect underscore. All right. So what happened here is we are saying if the connection, if there's error in the connection with our database here, then it should give us this feedback, connection failed. That is what we are saying. It should give us a connection failed, right? It should like give us an error message. That is what the die means. It should give us an error message. It should terminate and then give us an error message that says connection failed. That is basically what we are saying here. That is basically all we are saying here. So, but however, if the connection, sorry, now it's if the connection is failing, there's an error. So but let's go forward. That where it shows us when the connection is correct, right? So as the connection is, as we've done the connection, it will just be like, all right,
On line 6, how do you say that
which slash?
on line 6?
Line 6 for this, you mean?
Slash on line 6. For that.
Before die.
A package.
Okay, no, okay, you mean the indentation. Okay, yeah, if it doesn't give you that automatically, you can use a tab. You can use tab, so it will give you the indentation. However, this is not this language doesn't really care about indentation. It's not like Python. It's Python that will give you errors as a result of indentation and all that. So you have to indent it very well. If not in Python, you get an error. So, but for this, it doesn't really care about all that. So now, so because like I said earlier, if you see, we are talking about index page now of our system, right? So if the connection is successful, right? So what it should just do is what result equals to dollar $con, right? Dollar $con up up. Then we do query. So basically, what is saying that if nothing happened here, which means the connection is successful to our database. So all it should do now, it should give us a result, and this result should query our database for our products, for our products. Because remember, it's an index page, right? Like the index page should, for every e-commerce website, the index page shows the product. If you go to Jumia.com, all you see, you start seeing the products. So that's how it is as a e-commerce. So that is how it should be. So when the connection, which comma
Connection failed.
is giving you error, I don't understand. Yes. When the system may not have condition. Okay, no, sorry. So are you still getting the error now? You will not get the error, huh? Right. Yes. Mm, that is it. That is actually true. So now, okay, like I mentioned earlier, good programming practice, right? Commenting, right? So I think I should comment here, right? So it's here. Let's say fetch 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 products. So that is how it should be. So we should fetch products, right? This is just handling database connection. From here we go to the design, right? Remember we have the database. Now we are trying to create a connection. After creating a connection, now we come and do the front end. How it will look like. All right. So all right. So fetch product. So this okay. We first of all in the database we don't have the products table yet. If you remember, we just created like the user login or the login the last time. Is that correct?
Yes.
So now let's go back. Let's go back to the database. Hello? Let's go back to the database and create a table inside inside the database. Maybe let's call it products.
What about the other table? Is that it?
No, that was just one table, right? If you remember, we said we created that for login, Abi, just to have just for let's say for users to be able to log in or for users, yeah, user table. So now let's create the products table. All right. So you can go back to your here, right? Okay, and then here you see new. Click on new. So let me check my server. My database is. Let me start it again. Error, my SQL shutdown unexpectedly. This may be due to blocked port missing independencies and proof of memory shutdown. So, okay, I think I have other projects going on. Let me quickly. Okay, so okay, so now let's create new. Okay, here you put the table name. Let's say we said products, right? Products. How many columns do you think it should have? The products table. You have a product, and then you want to the necessary details relevant to that product. The product has a name, remember, right? And there should be quantity, uh-huh. Price, very key. So how many columns do you think that should have? Should we make it 5 or 6? Okay, let's say 5 for the purpose, just for the purpose of this. Let's say 5, right? So what should be the 5? Let's have okay because of the database. Let's look at it. First of all, we should have serial. Mind you, you should always have serial in your database, right? And then we have remember this serial should be an integer because it's a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then the length. Are you having are you dealing with different products that are up to one? Let's say you have a supermarket. It's possible to have more than 100 different products in the supermarket, right? More than 100 different products. So let's say we look at and you can have up to 999 different products, right? So let's just use for the length it should be 3, like 3 digits for the products, right? 3 digits, and this default this default, it cannot be null. Because of that, let's make it not null, right? It should be not null. Okay. And then, mind you, remember what we said about primary key last class. Okay. Who can remember what we said about primary key?
Primary key is the main distinct that link database.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a unique identifier that connects one table to another.
Okay. Not really. Yeah. Let's go with that. Yeah, it connects one table line to another, right? So let's make it a primary key, right?
Index the serial.
And then what did we say about this? AI auto increment, right? So because every time you're adding a product to the database, it should be the index should be increased. It should be incremented automatically. You don't need to be putting one, two, because you don't do that manually. You don't do that here. You do that from the back, from the front end, from the interface. You just enter the name of the product, the price of the product, a little bit of description of the product, right? And then you just press save or submit. So in the database, it will just add number 7, number 8, number 9. So yes, it will be handling that. So that's the auto increment. So let's
What about if you want the code to start with 001?
yes, you can do all that from your code, from the backend. Yes, how you want it to be entering from the database. We'll get there. We are moving gradually. We get there, we cover there. So that is it. So for that, let's go to the product. It has a name, right? Okay, the name should be of type varchar, right? Okay, so of length, let's say, let's give it a 50, a length of 50, right? So I think that's just it. That is what we are just concerned about here. And then price, right? Okay, for the price, we can also use because we can use varchar because integer is strictly numbers. What if you want to include the yes, an error sign and then come on? Yeah, so varchar, okay, price, right? So price should be how many digits? Let's say yes. So million, that's like 7 digits, right? 7 digits, okay. So let's say 7 digits. Okay. And then price and then description. Let's look at description. What if you use million? Trillion? Yeah, depending on the business. If you're into Forex, that kind of stuff, Forex, Bitcoin and all that kind of thing. Yes. Or betting. Into betting business and all that, gambling and all that. So let's use a description. DESCRIPTI description. So description should be also a varchar. So because this description holds basically a little details about the product. So let's look at in terms of length of, because this length basically means the number of characters, including spaces, right? So the description can be, let's say, up to 50. No. That would be name, right? So its description should be around 100 words. 100, that's the spacing of characters, not words. Characters, including space.
So let's move on. So if we fix the maximum, as if you fix 200 for example, and it doesn't reach, is it going to fail?
If it doesn't reach,
Yeah, if the description is just, let's say 100, but we fix 200,
No, it's fine. As long as it doesn't exceed, it's fine. But if it exceeds, it will return an error, right? It will return an error if it exceeds. But if it doesn't exceed, that's fine. 200, right? All right. Yes. Something like that. Sorry? Sorry, I can't hear you. Yes. Yes. So I think is this okay, or should we add another thing? Okay, you said quantity, right? You said quantity. Okay. So let's add one column. Let's add one column. Said quantity, right? Quantity. So the quantity, of course, one quantity. Yes. So the quantity should be integer, right? Should be integer and should be 3 digits. You can have 999 pieces of a particular product. So from zero to one, as in that's from 0 to 999 at 3 digits. So let's use 3 digits. So when we are done, right? Very key, very important. I almost forgot. Product ID. Yes, that's the unique identifier for the product set. A very unique identifier, product key. So let's add another column again. From here, you see, now click go. So it will add another product, let's say product underscore ID, right? Product ID. So the product ID can be a varchar, because let's say if it's coffee, you can decide to say COF 001 or something like that. Then if it's for Milo, you can say MIL something. So that is the product ID. Yeah, something that will differentiate it from any other product, right? That is uniquely its identity for that type of product. So that's the product ID. So for this, the length, let's look at 50, right? Or 25. 50 is okay. So when we are done, true. That's, I like this. So you guys are really following. Index, it should be unique. That is true. That is true. It should be unique. So when that is all done, click on save. So after clicking on save, it will now show you the structure of the table. Are you seeing the structure of the table here? See, these are the columns, right? We have the serial, which is a primary key, and it's auto increment. Here it says auto increment, right? And then we have the name, varchar, price to varchar, description varchar, then the quantity. Sorry? It's showing. And then the product ID. Product ID is also unique. The index here, it says unique, right? All right. So this is the structure of the table as it is, right? So if you click here, that is under the under structure here, right? So if you click browse, it will show you the content of the table. But for now, we do not have anything inside the table, right? So you look at this. Basically, what we do, look at this statement here. Select star from products. That is basically, if you're browsing, it's going to open, it's going to call everything. Assuming we have something inside this table now, it will be shown here. Everything inside the table. So let's try something and see. Come here, insert. If you come to insert, click on insert. My people online, I hope we are together. Are you following us? All right. Okay, I'm coming. Your own is not what?
Showing browse.
Showing browse. I don't understand. Let me come and check.
Browse like so insert. Okay, there's no browse and there's no insert.
Yeah, this is the overview of the database. If you will enter inside the folder, select the table. Select the table. Inside here, right? Yes. Yes, that is All right, so let's move on. I guess now by now everybody's by now we're all on the same page, right? And our people online, I hope we're together. Our online people hope we are together. All right, so let's move on. So let's move on. So here you see these are the columns, right? And these are the data, and these are the types. So and then next here we have all here we have the values on here. You see value. So this is where we input the value to that column. So for now, serial, you can say serial 001, right? Should be 001. The name, what's the name of the product? Ah, oh my god. Another something I also forgot. We're supposed to add an image, right? We're supposed to add a column. Yeah, from the on the table. But we look at how to edit the table to do that. Right. We look at how to edit the table to do that. So for now, this we enter the value like 001, right? I'm showing you this from the back end, that's for the first time, but subsequently adding the data to the database, it's going to be from the front end, from the front end, adding the data, like yeah, if you want to add more products, you do that from the front end, yeah, instead of the back end. I'm just showing you this one. So,
The first product is going to be from the back end.
sorry?
The first product is going to be from the back
No,
end.
no, 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 no. Like for this class, like for this session, the first product is going to be from the back end. I'm showing you how the back end database is, how you manipulate it from the back end. However, for subsequently, when you have an entire system, you should not be coming to the back end to do all that. You should do that from the front end, right? Just go to your system, open the place where you want to upload products, type the name, upload the image, and then send. It will now bring it to the database. Yeah. Yeah. It's because of this course is a back end development course, so we have to know everything about the back end. So this is how the back end looks. This is how you manipulate with the back end, right? So for name of the product, uh, what should we bread? Should we use bread? Okay. Okay, shawarma bread. Okay. All right, so now what we are going to add now, everything we're adding now is for a single product, right? Everything we're adding now is for a single product, right? So here we have the serial 001, we have the name, right? And then we have the price. Shawarma bread should be around 7,000 naira number. 85. That's what's up. So let's make it 8,500, right? Okay, 8,500. So description. How do you describe the bread? It's fresh, soft, and then sweet, but sweet. Let's see. We can, yeah? Okay, we can. Okay, all right. Soft, soft and plain. Okay, that's the description we're giving it, right? Soft and plain. Okay. The quantity. So let's say we have 100 quantities. We have 100 quantities, right? So, and then for the product ID, we can call it anything. We can do it anyhow. We can say the product ID is going to be alphanumeric. It can be alphanumeric, right? So we can say S for shawarma, right? B for bread. B. So we can just say SB1, right? SB1. Okay. So maybe that should be the product ID. SD00 SB001, right? So remember we made this column unique. So there's no any other, which means there's no any other product. If you submit this, there's no any other product that is going to ever have this inside this database as an ID, a product ID. That is the unique. So we now click go. Okay. So it says one row inserted, one in data truncated for column. Okay. So basically, what it means truncated, it means that we have a column whereby we at row 1 price. Okay. So the price, we didn't enter. I didn't enter the value. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You see, we entered 7, right? For the price. We don't have error message. Did you use 7? You're having error message. Everybody's having the same error message as me.
Maybe she didn't use the extra 2 zeros.
Yes, I guess maybe you didn't use the extra 2 zeros. So basically, what you see, this is it. Basically, what happens is for the product, for the price. Sorry?
But I didn't use it. Still, I have error.
You didn't use what?
Extra 0, that's the Kobo.
Okay, you didn't use it.
Yes.
You have error. You didn't have error.
I have.
You have error. You didn't use it. You don't have error, and you didn't use it. Okay. No, I'm coming. Let me.
I also have.
You have the same error.
Yes, and I
No,
didn't.
I don't have error.
You don't have error.
I don't have error.
You don't have error, right?
Okay.
Okay. So you see that if you actually use the 20, if you actually use the .00, the Kobo, you have error. And
So we have to change.
yes. So why did it happen? If you remember, for the length, that number we used 7 for price. We're talking about million.
Now we have almost 9 characters.
Yes, I told you. Like even space is a character. It's part of it. So if you count, yes, we have full stop, we have comma, we have zero. So that is why it's returning that error to us. All right. So now.
Go back to the project.
Yes. Go back to the table, right? Yeah, you see you see the product here. This is the table, right? If you click on it, you see this. And mind you, it has inserted it but it has removed the last zero,
Yes. I saw it.
right? It has cut from that 7, it will enter, but anything after that, it will cut it and throw it away. So that is how it works. That is how it works. So now we can come here. If you want to edit what is inside the table, after clicking there, so after selecting the table there, Sadiq, sorry, you're interrupting. You are blocking their view. Okay, all right. So here, if you select the table here, and then you come over here, edit, right? You see edit in here. If you click it, you back here, and then you now check the price. Where is the price? Okay, you see now it has one. So instead of I use this 00, let me just leave it like this. 8,500, right?
But the Naira sign is not there.
Okay, so let's put the naira sign. You like naira, ba? They can just put the N right and then click and go. You see now there's no error. Now it has no error. Are you with us? You don't have to. Just download and install. Something is using that prompt. So there's an application that is running and then it's using the same port. That is why you are allowed to start. So that is basically what it means. There's another application. Usually anything that has video system will not allow it. If it's running on the system will not allow it. Like Skype and the rest. And others that use the same port. If they are active on your system, running at the same time, they cannot run on the same port. You understand? Yes. So you just have to check about that. Okay. So are we all here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you look here, you see one beautiful thing with this, right? First of all, what we are doing, we are querying the data from the table. Sorry.
I'm trying to go back to it.
Okay, let me look at.
Now, last year I wasn't. I went to. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, look at this. Uh, from next class, I'm aware last class you guys did MongoDB, right?
Yes, sir.
MongoDB database is a NoSQL database. So we are also going to touch more of it after this class, maybe probably from next class. We're also looking at migrating from this MySQL to MongoDB, MySQL. But for this at the moment, this is an SQL, RDBMS project. So if you look at, like SQL is a structured query language, right? That is used for database communication. Database, there are two types of database. We have the SQL, and NoSQL. Okay, so this one we are doing is an SQL database, and then MongoDB is a NoSQL database. So for the SQL, yeah, sorry, SQLite. SQLite is an SQL database. It is SQL database. Any other type of database that is SQL uses the same language, SQL, structured query language. That is what it means, right? SQL is a structured query language. So what I'm trying to say here is that if you look at the screen, what we've done so far, first of all, we've queried the information on our table. And SQL is all about a language that communicates with the database. How you communicate with the database. You tell the database what to do, and then it will give you the result. It will give you the result of what it has done. So what we did, we queried our database first, and that is this. That is this. If you look at this, this particular, it says select star from products, right? Select is an SQL keyword, right? For querying, which means like to fetch. Select bar. Star asterisk means everything. From is of course an English word, from, and then this product is the table. Is the table, right? So basically, what is saying and what we are doing here, first of all, if we click on here, we are doing select star. So all this we are doing using the GUI, it's translating it into the SQL, into the language, select star from. So for example, now we want to just select the price, or we want to select the description or the quantity. Instead of this everything, sorry? Oh, we pick one, right? Okay. So that is it. But for now, it's saying select everything on that database. Just give it us. Give it to us. That's what this term means. So now, if assuming on this same table, we want to select the name of the product, right? The price or anything, we can just say select product. We select name, right? If it's only the name we want, we can just say select name from the product table. If we want another thing, price, select name, comma, price from the product table, right? So that is how it goes. So that is what we've done. Yes, for the table name.
What we are saying, select name. Do we need the name to somehow?
No, we don't need to.
Now you do that anyway.
Sorry? No, okay, I will do all that from the back end. Sorry, from in our coding, what we are doing. I'm just trying to show you.
Okay, the coding is the front end.
Yeah, the coding is the other side is the front end. Yes, this is the back end. And what we are coding also, we are coding the communication between the front end. We are going to design the front end. The front end is what you see in your browser. It's the interface where you see the product, where you search, where you click on this thing. That's the front end. But for now, we are trying to see how we can create the back end, the database back end, and then create a medium. That's the back end, a language way to communicate with the database and the front end. That is what we are trying to do now. So I'm going bit by bit. So now we edited the table, right? We changed the price. So this line here, you see here, this line here, it says update products, right? Set price equals to 8,500. Where product dot serial, product dot serial mean the table, right? That table dot serial dot row, sorry, dot serial, that is the this. Remember we said primary key. So now it's using that as a primary. It's using this equals to 1 because now we have it as 1, right? So that is what we just did. We just edited it, right? But in code, whenever we want to do that in code, this is how it's going to be, right? In the programming part, this is how it's going. This is how we are going to do it. This is how we are going to do it in the programming part.
So we inserted 001.
Yeah, we inserted 001.
Zeros.
Okay. So the thing now is any zero before an actual number, it makes it irrelevant. Right? So that is it. It makes the zero irrelevant after any number. So however, but when we get to 100, from there, like that's how it's going to be. So, but yeah. So now we have the product here, which is this code, and then the editing that we edited, it says update products, right? Update this table. The table name is products. Set price, which is this, right? Equals to 8,500 naira, where products, that's the name of the table, dot serial, that is this. It's using this as a primary key, remember? As an identifier, dot serial equals to 1. So in your system, whenever you are dealing with a product, particular product from the interface, it always uses this number, the serial, because it's the primary. It always uses that. It always uses that to identify product in the database automatically. So now let's look at this. Select star from products, right? So let's go back to our.
Sorry, sir, you said we are going to add image
Okay, yes.
to the table. Yes, sir.
Yes, we are going to add image. So you can now come to structure, right? If you come to structure, you see here add. You see under here we have add, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it now says column after product ID, right? Okay, so we are now adding one because of the image. We're now adding one. If it's two, we now make it two. If it's three, we now make it three, right? But we are adding one now. So you click on go. So it will now give us where we entered. We now say image, IMAGE. Sorry?
No, the type.
Yes.
Type of image.
Guess. Who can guess?
There are only four types, sir. It is string.
What type?
Is integer, one text, and it is a string.
It's not a string. Okay. It's actually a blob. Blob.
Okay. Block.
BLOB.
Yes.
Mhm.
Tiny block or just block?
BLOB. Timestamp.
And there is a block that is tiny, tiny block.
Tiny block, one block, someone.
Medium block.
That difference.
Just the block.
Just the blob. Let's use just the blob. Yes. Yes, you can save it. Save. So
It's not unique, right?
no, it's not unique. Don't worry about that. So something happened. Who can guess? Who can show me? Who can observe something?
Say seven, on the image, you know,
On the image is road 7 bar. Okay. It's an observation now. Okay. Then what again?
The alter.
Aha. Yes. Yes. Aha. So also it ran this thing that we just did. It has translated it programmatically, right? So it says alter table products. We've altered the table products, right? Add image, right? Blob, not known after product ID. So it has generated a language, an SQL language, in respect to that. So that is what actually happened. So now let's go back to our VS Code. Let's go back here. Are we all here?
Yes, sir.
All right. So inside here, we now write select star, right, from FROM, select star from products. Yes, capital letter. So it says select star from products. So let me go all over again what we just did here. We created the database, right? In that interface we just left, right? We created a column. We created tables, right, in that database. So now what we are doing here with this language PHP, we are trying to create a connection, a medium from our front end that will connect with the back end. This way is like we are creating pipe, a channel that will connect that database with the front end. So what we will do, and basically what we are saying here is, first of all, this one should connect to our database. If the connection is successful with this parameter, so if the connection fails, it should give us an error message that say connection failed. Then we now start going and looking at what happened that made our connection to fail. But if the connection did not fail, right, we should just fetch the product. Why did we do it like this? Because it's an e-commerce website we're trying to design, right? If you go to an e-commerce website, the first thing you see are the products that will just appear for you. So that is why. So, and this is it. Remember, we created the table. The table name is products, right? I remember this query that says select star. So which means we are selecting everything. If we have 700 products on that table, all the 700 will appear. That is what it means. Everything, their information and everything. So at this juncture, at this point, what we are going to do now is we will start creating the front end from this point on. From this point on, we create the front end. And remember, front end languages are different. This is a back end language, a server side language that we did, which is a PHP.
So that means you're going to have a particular distinct tag. You cannot do it in the PHP tag.
You cannot do it inside the PHP tag. The thing is, but for the front end, you can always use PHP inside it.
Or you cannot use it.
You can use PHP inside it. Yes.
You cannot use it inside PHP, or you can use PHP inside.
Yes. Even the front end, you can also use it inside the PHP. We'll get to that. It's a bit intertwined, right? But that one is at a more complicated, at a more complicated level, at a more advanced level. For example, now you are applying for something, right? And now they ask you, and they ask you state of residence, right? They say, okay, select state of residence, right? And then you select Abuja FCT, right? If you select FCT, then another drop down will pop up. If it's FCT you selected, another drop down will pop up. Is it select area council? Is it Buhari? Is it Amak? Is it Gwagwalada? Is it Kuje and all that? So that is where it's being used inside it. Because if in the database you select this, then it will now call. If it's state of residence, if you selected, let's say, Kaduna, it will now maybe pop up Kaduna. Okay, it will now pop up Kaduna. That kind of. So that's where you use the front end inside the PHP. And for now, I will show you how it is. So remember, HTML is the core language for structure, right? Of a front end development. Then CSS for styling, polishing, design, to polish it, to make it look chap. Yeah, if you understand what I mean. Right. So and then so now let's go on to HTML. Let's move on to the HTML. So if you remember, HTML, right? So for every HTML tag you are opening, there should be also a closing tag, right? So for professional programming practice and convention, for every tag you open, you should close it immediately, and then everything that you're going to do, you should do it in between. If not, you will not forget. If not, you might just confuse your life. Yes, because if you don't close it, if you write all the codes, when to close it will become problem for you. You understand? You will know the starting of it, but you might not know the ending of it. That is just the truth. That is to say, you might know the starting, but you might not know the ending. When you're writing complex programming, you just leave it and run away. So Now we are creating. We are going to work with HTML. Sorry, React in our project. Yes, we are going to use it gradually. We are going before the end of this meeting. We are going to do it. Yes. If you remember, I said next class also we are also looking at how integrating MongoDB, right? With that. So for the React, yes. So now we now close it.
Okay, so
HTML.
we don't need to add the document type here. Just start with the tag immediately.
Yes, you can. We can add the document type. You can add the document type. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Caps lock.
Come to the
Oh,
front.
we are behind. All right. Let's add doc type, right? HTML. So let me come and see how far behind you are. See if you can drag you. I'm coming. I just coming. That's the danger. Yes. Something like this. They don't come here. Come here. This where remember last time we created. All right, you see, I just put it through. Yeah, I still put it through. All right. So we are going to leave you a little back, a little behind. So my online people, are we on board? Are we on the same page? People online, okay. All right. Okay, so let's move it. So doc type HTML, right? All right. Press enter. So we now also HTML lang equals to en. Oh, I've created this session. Sorry? It means you are closing this. That was open there. You are closing it. That is what it means. This is the opening and this is the closing. You get it? Yes. This one should be closed. All right. So can we move on? All right. So let's move it on. When you're dealing with HTML, inside the HTML tag, we have head, we have body, right? So, so you now indent your program, your code, head, right?
Sir, I cannot, I cannot see that the opening of the HTML tag.
The opening of my HTML, see it here. So we have the head, right? So when you do the opening of the head, you do the closing, like I tell you, right? That is better. So and then we have body, right? Then body. So we now have head and body inside the HTML tag. So who can? Sorry,
There's one like.
there's no leg. There is only body. Yeah, it's only the head and the body. No, the title. Yes, the title is inside the head, right? We are going there. I'm just sectionalizing. We are going there. So those are the two major components. So now inside the head here, right? Notice how I'm going. I like indenting my code. Very well. So title, title, right? Title. So what do we title the page, and where does the title take effect? What does it mean? Who can answer that? Where does it apply? Where do we see it now when we run our front end? Yeah, in the front end, of course.
Immediately after.
Madam, the top of
Of your page, of your browser.
yes,
Open the browser.
yes,
That's the best.
yeah, yes.
Like the heading.
If I understand what you say. So that is the title. So what do we title it? E-commerce what? Okay. Right? So remember we keep talking about CSS in front-end development, right? So how do you apply this CSS? There are actually two ways to apply the CSS, right?
CSS
So-
using embedded, just like bootstrap.
Uh-huh.
By linking
One.
it, you like style.
I think I mentioned that here. I mentioned that one of the class. Is it the front end development? Inline. Yes, that is it. You can embed it inside your code as we are doing, right? Or you can create the CSS file externally and then be calling it. You link it and then be calling it, right? So for here, I want us to be using it. So in case you want to link it, you create another file and then you link it. Here inside the header is what you do that, right? You create another tag, styles, right? Styles, that is for type styles sheet. Yes, but because I prefer using it inline, yeah, because I want to style every single thing as I'm working with it. So it's better for me. I prefer it, right? But with the professional and conventional way, so that it's you create it separately and then be calling it. Remember, one of the class we actually did that. Yeah. So, and for JavaScript, when you also want to embed JavaScript in your system, You also call it. You also create it inside the head tag with the script tag.
Under the body.
No, not under the body, within the head. Like here, under here, you can set say scripts. Scripts, right? Scripts. No, not scripts. I think it's script. 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 You now close it, right? So you now also added your JavaScript.
Inside it.
Yes. So you be calling yes.
Or you call it.
Yes. So that is for the header. So now, what we are going to be doing, what we be concerned, we are mostly going to be concerned with the body. The body is what we normally see on our web page. Mostly, like everything we see on our web page. Is it the logo, the logo, the background, the what is it called? The texts, the texts and all that. The text and all that. So we see everything inside the body. So let's say for the body, let's say we want to create okay, let's start with the title. No, it's not a form. Remember it's an index page of e-commerce. So it's not the form. So let's create a title, right? Let's use the font H1. The title H1. Remember what a H1 is, right?
Yes.
All right, H1, and then close H1. Notice I'll keep doing that. Immediately I open, I close it. Immediately I open, I'll close it before putting whatever it is I want to put in between. Doing whatever I want to do in between. So it can now say products lists, right? You can say product lists. Product lists. So now we want to apply. This is where, like I told you, like the CSS, you apply it in two different ways, right? Let me scroll up. Are you seeing from front, from behind? Let me scroll to here, right? Okay. Remember, I said CSS we can apply in two ways, right? So the inline now, based on the inline, you can do it inside a tag of that particular element. Yes. So inside this H1, I can create space and then say style. STYLE. Style equals to. You remember, right? Font family, font name, font width, font size, color, all those kind of things. But margin bottom, margin top, padding. That is how we the style, everything. So let's open our browser. Let's open our browser to see this. So this is our browser. You remember the local host? You remember? / remember? Then yeah, you can do that 127.127.0.0.1. So now we are trying to view what we just started as the front end. That is what we are trying to view. That is what we are trying to view now. So remember localhost, right? Then the name of that folder, the name that you created of the folder you created is the one that you put inside htdocs. Remember the name? All right. I think we call it e-commerce system. Was that what you call it? All right. Then ECOMMERC e-commerce system. Right? So remember I told you every time you are trying to launch your system, what happened first is the index page. Yeah, and the index is the index page that launches first. So because we are just making reference to that particular folder, the system on its own goes to look for the index page. It goes to look for the index by default. So we do not have to make reference to that index. It will just on its own go and look for the index. We can also do that, but there's no need for that. So we now, bam, the enter. If you do that, what did we see? Product list, right? And what does this mean? Tell me, who can tell me what does this mean?
This is the first, this is the front end.
At the front end. Yeah, who can tell me what does this mean? Eh? Sorry? Yeah, the first
Then the
H1.
title and the first H1 of the index.
And then before then. Okay, sorry, the title. Take note of the title, like I said, right? This was the title, right? What you're trying to say that we used. Yeah. The title, what we used as the title in here. Remember this title here. This title, right, is this one. Right? Okay. So, but there's something we are doing back end. We are doing back end technology. That's what I'm looking to hear. Since we did not get any error, it assumes our database is connected successfully, and then it's returning this. That is exactly what I wanted to hear. If our database had some issues, you are not here yet.
Excuse me.
Okay, please.
Mine did reflect the product list. So I was thinking maybe it's because I didn't save the. I am told after every
Line? Line of
difference that is being made, we are supposed to save.
Yes, that is
before we
true.
reflect the.
That is true.
So it's not.
Yeah, you save it before it reflects, but my own I have auto save.
Okay.
That is why I'm here. I have auto save. I'm on auto save. That's why. So let's see. Are you sure this is the name? This is how you put the name there. So inside that particular folder. Let's look at this. So let's look at the problem must be from everything. Yeah, it's not safe. That's why I'm showing you. Okay, when you save it, you can't really save it. Control S, Control S, Control S. So you see, so now you want to returning an error, which means the database is error correction in the database. That is why syntax is saying past error, syntax error, unexpected change. Let's look at it. See, my index for index is line 3. So let's go to line 3. Where's line 3? So look at the error. See.
No, you pay.
Still having we're still having issues. Still having. What did you name the database? You should not be
I haven't saved it. The correction is just made.
There's a lot of mistakes because you see, right? First of all, the database name. You didn't go to the database name. You didn't use the correct database name. So now it's returning us an error. What is this?
convert MySQL access to the table, command product doesn't exist. It says the table doesn't exist. So what have you done? Where is the database? It says the table does not exist. Did you actually create the database, the table?
Sorry, actually.
Say, okay, if you didn't write it, service issue to the table. Let's look at the database. You don't have the table. The product table. Alright. Sorry, I'm coming. Mine works. Which means you're only successful. The request you had was from. Did you put it inside? Did you put this folder inside the HT docs? No, it's not inside HT docs. You should have put it inside HT docs.
I'm going to go to sales. Like five.
And if I say machine, let's go up. And if I go and find other entry. Hold on, 93. Thank you. You know, Which is going to be fun. What's going to be
Okay, I will try to.
Okay, we spent some time debugging. So let's look at this. Huh?
There's a question online.
There's a question online. Okay, what's the question, please, online?
He said, another question, where the HTML code is written inside the index like PHP, what will happen if the page is inspected? What will the dev tool show?
What happens if the what?
What will happen if the page is inspected?
The page is inspected.
Yes, what will the dev tool show?
What does it mean by if the page is inspected? Please, can the online person make the question clear, please? Like, what do you mean by if the page is inspected? Are you having the error?
Yes, because that is my own okay.
Yes, you all.
Okay, that's what she said. Yes. Yes. Okay, this is how you save it. Let's. It doesn't really recognize. Yes, so that's why imagine because something as small as this can take like a full that's the entire thing. You see, so all of it, so you see, yes, like this. Yes. No, go back to Alright. So you see, number one, I just looked at it. Your table is not products. You use products. Yeah. Right? And then here, we have local review, and then there should be another one. Right? This one. Save first. Alright, run it. Go to your browser.
Go to your browser and then refresh. All right. So my online people, sorry for that. We are trying to debug, and the debugging has been successful. Yes. So we are done. Can we move on? Please, Sadiq, let me check the questions online, please. I had somebody was asking a question that I wasn't understanding, so I told him to paraphrase.
Yana magana wani ka je directive kana inspecting ka san tunan da ake accessing console to shi yake magana to ban san me zai gani a DevTools ne
Okay.
sai me yake nema a ciki shi yake magana yayin me zai gani a DevTools.
So from this point, right, we are all having a. So we are all having a, what is it called? This page. So if you have this, you are not having it. What's the issue?
Shi wancan yake a in
So we should be having this, right? You're having this right now, right? And everyone's having this. So I guess we are on the same page. So let's move on. You're not having that? Wow. Okay, sorry, please. I'm online. I'm coming. All right.
Oh, you don't need that. So did I answer to the defense? Where's the database? The name of the database? You have to change it from the score. Yes.
So you have to. All right. So can we move on? All right. So if you're having this page right now, right? So basically, it is this code here that is being translated to that. So basically, what it means from here, from this PHP onto here, has been successful, right? It has been successful. It is now connected. From your your database is now connected to now here the interface. So let's start doing the design. This e-commerce system that was here in the title, like I mentioned earlier, it's this. This is the title, right? Yeah, naming it. So now that is part of the head. So for the body, we have this products list, right? So let's continue from here, and let's look at CSS. Let's look at CSS, right? Try to style this thing as it is. If you look at it, by default, I think this should be Times New Roman. The font, right? It should be Time New Roman. So now let's look at designing this product key, sorry, product list. So for styles, let's first of all say font family, right? Font family, right? Sorry, you can say sans serif. Sans serif. Is it double S?
Gender is listing.
There's hyphen go.
Yes.
Like this. Sans serif. Right? Sorry, mind you, right? Every time you make changes to this, every time you make changes here in this file, you have to save, right? If you save it, and then if you go to your browser, You then refresh it, right? So that is how you do it. So now we've changed. See here, H1 style equals to inside the double quote. We now change the font family. Initially, by default, it was Times New Roman, but now we've changed the font family to sans serif. Okay, so now we want to do more. If you want to add, if you want to continue styling, add comma. Sorry, inside here, use comma. No, is it comma? You know, it's column, right? Then you can say color, COLOR. Uh, color is spelled COLOUR, right? English spelling. But you know the system, they're all American. There's American English by default for that. So color is COLOR. Yes. So that's American spelling, right? So we go with that. Color, you can say brown, BROWN, right? Brown. So let's refresh and see if that takes effect. So you see, right? It has changed the color to brown. Okay. So that's color. So let's say font weight, WEIGHT, right? Font weight, we can say lighter, LIGHTER, lighter. Uh, it's like this. And then let's look at font size. Font size also, let's say font size. Font size, we can say 24. You can say 24 pixels. Ah, 24 pixels is small. So let's make it bigger. Let's make it something like 54 pixels. Save and then refresh. Okay, I think this should be fine. So let's centralize it. So to centralize, right? So to centralize this, we can do two ways. We can do that in two ways, right? So the first, so okay, like one thing is, I'm coming for your code display and your organization. For your code organization, you see the styling is taking a whole lot long line, right? So yes, so you can decide to break it. You can decide to break your code like this, right? H1 inside H1, and then the styling goes like this, and then the product. You can decide to do that. You can decide to do this, like it's fine, like it's better organization in terms of coding ethics. So let's look at centralizing. If you want to centralize, sorry.
Okay, the product is going to like
Yes, the product list here is on line 23. Yes. So if you want to centralize it, right, you can do it in two ways. You can centralize it using the HTML, and you can also do that using the CSS. You can do that as well. So how do you do that using HTML? You can decide, okay, and say this HTML1 tag. You can decide to create another tag and then put it and then center, right? You close it, and then you come to the end of the tag, also center. You close it. Save it and refresh. You can do this. Sorry? You are back.
Please go back to the code.
All right, let me go back to the code. All right, like this. You can enclose it inside the center tag. So are we all on the same page?
Yes.
We are on the same page, right? All right.
Yes, sir.
Online, any feedback, Sadiq? Any feedback from online, please? Uh, okay. So my online people we are on the same page, right? All right, please. What's your question? You want to correct mistake? Or where are you talking about? Yes. All right. But this table is when we post table is the database is the database is Judas. That's the name of the database. So that's the table you created. The Judas. Right. So let's see the error thing. Yes, sir. Scroll down, scroll down. Then go again. It doesn't exist. Actually, because there's only products here. There's no because table. There's only this is the database. This is the table. So there's no because table. There's no products. It's actually supposed to be products, not Jutas table. So all right, so can we move on? So let's move on. You're having an issue. All right, come in. All right. All right. So can we move on? All right. Okay. So let's move on. So mind you, this is the header, right, of our thing. So now what we are going to do is we are going to create another div. We are going to create another div. So HTML, you do what how do I say? You structure your pages in divs, divs, everything. You structure them inside div. So now what we are going to do, we are going to query our database for the products, right? We are going to query our database for the products we have inside. So let's create another div. Let's create a div, div, right? And then don't always forget close div. You open the tag, you close it. You open the tag, you close it. That's a professional practice. Okay. So inside that, because we'll be dealing with the because we'll be dealing with our back end now, right? As in the connection between, because we'll be dealing with the connection between the back end, right? That back end channel to our database, right? So we are going to employ the use of that language, the PHP, the scripting, the server scripting languages. So you see, this is where it's coming inside the HTML. So we are working inside HTML now, but yes, now we are trying to employ the use of PHP, the back end scripting language inside it. So that's why here you see it will be PHP, right? Like this. Go, and then that's what we're, and then we be like while WHILE, right? Dollar row equals result result pap pap fetch 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 ASSOC, right?
Error. Pass error. Sir, please can you remove the cursor Please can you remove the cursor
I've taken down the cursor. All right. So I'll explain everything I'm doing. I'm trying to think of the logic. Like that's why I'm a bit quiet. So like I will I'm trying to write the logic for fetching the stuff from the database. I'll explain everything. Okay. So what I tried to do here, right? It's after this header, product key, right? Product list. So I want to call the database to fetch us our products, right? From the back end. And that only happens using the back end server language, right? Which we are using in this case. So every time I want to interact with the database, right? I use the server language, the server scripting language we are using here to call it. So inside this div, what I did, right? I'm using the PHP, and then I was saying while row, right? I'm creating another variable, row, while it's equals to result. Don't forget this result is this one here, right? Everything that will go inside this that will come from database inside this result. While result, right, equals to, sorry, row equals to result fetch a sock. Yes. So it's going to fetch that from our database, and then it will display the product name, right, inside this div. The product name is going to be in H2 format, right? Then echo. Echo means like print, to return something in the language, like to print something. That's echo. That's what it means. Then echo the row name. Remember in the database we created a row name, right? Uh, this one. Where's the product table? Okay, this one, right? That's the row we created. That's the column we created, right? So we are now asking it to fetch the rows, right? That's this one. To fetch the rows for this column name, right? We have price, we have description. That is what I want. That is what I'm working with at the moment. Gradually, you see. So and then you display it in H2, right? Which is in a header two, right? Then it also should echo the description, the row for the description, right? As well as the row for the price. It should echo that. So let's run it and see. Sorry, D. Okay, for this div, we open. There's a closing here. Okay, yes, you are right. You see that is good. Very, very observant. So what we'll do is close the div now. Uh-huh. So now close the div now, like this. So you see that is good programming practice. So you now refresh. Are you all up to this point? Okay, you're still writing. Okay, so let me know when you are here. So this. Hmm. Line line 27 here. Okay. No, don't close it after the curly brace. Why? It's because you are using it, right, to call. They are using it to fetch the data from the database. So, and if the data is fetched from the database, it will print it and show it to you using the front end. Right? It will display it to you inside the front end. So this, you are closing it inside, sorry, you are closing it after you put this H2, H2, P, and P, which are HTML elements. You understand? Which they are not PHP elements, they are HTML elements. So you are now closing this particular opening here. Look at this closing here at line 34. That is the closing. If you see here, we only have the opening here, right? From here, and then we are closing it here. Are you seeing what I'm doing? Let me scroll up like this. Are you understanding? Can we run it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we just refresh, and then you see it's popping up now. You see? You see now we forgot to add that pictures too, right? Okay, we are going to bring the picture. So now what we will do, we will now style this one. If we style it now, what it will do that we just do one styling for this product as it is now. So the computer, programmatically, it will now, if there are, we just do one styling. But if there are 100 products, it will list the 100 products using the same styling, how we wanted it to be. So now let's go on styling. Here you see that's the name, the shawarma bread, Abi. And then as Madam said, the description should be soft and plain. And it's with the price of 8,500 naira. So now on top of this, we add the name, right? And then we add the picture. So not the name. On top of the name, we add the picture, right? And then maybe we give it a very nice styling box, and then we give it a link to add to cart as a button, or link to add it to our cart, or if we want to view more detailed description of the bread, more detailed information. Like for some products, of course, you want to see like a lot of more descriptive data regarding the product you want to buy. Maybe when it's manufactured, okay, the dimension, maybe the dimension, the quality, quantity, and all that. So for the bread, we can also do that. Maybe the quantity of yeast, sugar, and everything, all that ingredients. You can also create another page whereby if you click on that, it will link you there to show you all the information. Yeah, the nutritional content. For example, for people with diabetes, if it's good for people with diabetes and all that, wheat bread and all that. Sorry, somebody called me around there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so it's all about seeing. Because some things you are looking at it, so you have to. Debugging. No, debugging actually takes. So now let's continue from there. Sorry about that, online people. We're trying to debug. We're trying to do some debugging. Sorry, bro, if I didn't see or receive noted. Okay, let's switch. All right. So this, do we all have this?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what we are going to do now, right? Well, let's look at trying to. You see, if you look at this space, the name, there's some spaces that are. They are like the spaces is kind of much. So let's look at trying to work on that, all that. So let's do the styling for make it look more appealing. Okay. So let's start with this one, the name, right? Let's let's say style. Let's say style equals to for the font, we should maintain the same font family, or we should change it. Let's use sans serif. Let's use the sans serif, right? For the font family, font font family. We have sans serif, right? And then should we leave the font weight as it is? We should leave the font weight as it is, right?
Yes. But it looks like
Sorry? Don't worry, we'll get to that. There will be no need for table for that. The system, it will know how to. Don't worry, we'll get to that. How it will appear in grid, right? Maybe three boxes, product 1, 2, 3, or 2, 2, 3. Don't worry, we'll get to that. Hello. Okay. No, that.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, I'm just saying it's time already. It's always time to end the class. So, but let's just round this up and then call it a day because our time is up. So, what were we trying to do? Okay, we are trying to do this styling. We are trying to do the styling, right? Okay. So the thing is, right? Let's just do something quickly. Here, uh, we don't have the image, right? We didn't have the image. So let's try to see how we can call another image just to put it there. Please, right? Just for the okay. So it's supposed to be on top here, right? So we now do like this. IMG SRC equals to let's see 100. Sorry, 100 width WIDTH equals to 100 HEIGHT equals to 100. So now let's get another image. You can go, let's go online. Now let's go online. Let's type shawarma bread. One. We have a lot of shawarma bread here. So you can go online. Adi. Let's use this one. It's looking very, very more. It's looking very yummy. Homemade. It looks hard, but
This time is soft.
this one,
Yes.
this one, I look like pancake. This one is pancake.
Okay, now.
And but don't worry, let's
So it's kind of down.
sorry down. This one.
No, after the plan. That was the first one you chose.
Oh, this one.
Yes.
You say it looks hard. Like burasa, ba? So now, just for this, before we continue and then round it up by next class, let me just get the yeah, is it image link, right? Image address. No, okay. I wanted to use it. What is it called? I wanted to use it originally online, but let's save it. Let's save it. Shawarma bread. shawarma. Uh, Sorry, it's always advisable. It's always advisable, right? When you're working with images or any other material, you should always use them inside the same location you are using your project files. However, what I mean by same location is inside your project folder. Yeah, you go to htdocs. Do you see htdocs here? Okay, inside the htdocs. I'm talking about inside this. Yes, yes.
You like to save it.
Yes, we have no, we have to save it. So what will happen is by default, you should always do that. So let's go there and create another separate folder. Yeah, for the pictures inside that. So you go to this like this, keep going to your own location. If it's the same as mine, then good. Then come to htdocs, e-commerce system. You see, we only have this index, right? So let's right click, and then you can say images, right? Ah, okay, images. It's like this, images. All right, so let's enter here and then save it. Shawarma bread. So what we'll do now is we go to our code, right? And then from there, the source, we now reference the location of our file. That is what we do. So, and it's inside because they're inside the same folder, because they're inside the same project folder, right? And then the image is inside our another folder, we created images. So we now go images, images, right? You see it up here, another directory. You see images, right? You see it here. Then images. They do /shawarma bread, bread dot jpg. You know, sit. If you save, yes, I used underscore. I used underscore. Okay, yeah, for the naming, right? Yeah, yeah, exactly. That was my error. So you know, do like this. My bad. All right. Top. Aha. So you see now it has appeared. So what we need to do is the styling. Abi? So maybe next class we will do the styling, but for the sizes we can say I can just maybe increase the size and then refresh. Is the styling okay? Okay, with the width, the height is okay, I think. Okay, let me just. I think the width should be more. The width should be like okay 250, right? Okay, so let's see. All right. So from next class, we see how we style these things to look. All right. Mind you, this image we are not calling it from the database. We are calling it because we saved it locally. But we have our next class. I will show you how you can save it in the database and then be calling it from the database. Right? All right. So don't worry. All that aesthetics. We are going to look at it. We are going to implement all that.
The image, how to save it into
You navigate. You find the location where you created your project folder. Remember where I told you? No. Not on the website. where the actual project folder exists in your computer. Inside this, open it. You now create another folder, call it images, right? So from next class, we'll see how you can add it to. We can add a product to. We can do the styling here. Populate the table with a lot of products, and then how we can do add to carts. How you can add to carts, as well as I will just show you how to integrate a payment gateway also. Just how to integrate payment gateway next week. Yeah, for today, for this course we are done for today. Next class we are going to have another one. No. Yeah, just afternoon also. One to 4. Yes. No. Another person. 1 to 4. So are we okay? Yes.
Yes, we are okay.
Okay. Yeah, already. Yeah, I'm just sending you one.
So if someone doesn't want it to be centralized, why centralized?
Do you know why you want to centralize?
No, sir.
Sorry. Did you know this? Okay, this one. Same data, right? Same data. The denominator gives where it is correct. If you are using more than one module, you can just see correct. You can just see correct. Alright, sorry, I'm coming here. Safety data.
So when I refresh my page,
Yeah, if you save it and then refer to page, it appears. It has appeared, right? Great. So I think at this juncture, your one is not showing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yours too. Okay. So it's recognizing there's an image, right? But it's not actually showing the image. So let's go back to the code. All right. It's not added into the code.
this doesn't exist. It's only saying it's at the Bangladesh edge. So let's, where do we save it? Yeah, right? So, okay, so let's cut it. And then go back to the project folder where you create your project. Yeah, right? It's a different project. Uh, Alright. So let's refresh. You just see. The format is different format. Let's change the format. It's supposed to be dot JPG. Okay, so instead of okay, let's try. Okay, I sorry. Control S. Control.
All right. So at this juncture, I think we call the class, we call it a day for this class. So probably we continue from where we stopped the next class. So from there, I think we've done most of the hard part. Yeah. So from next class, it's not going to be this. Uh, yeah. So because we'll be looking more on styling, right? How it appears, how it looks. So and then we just add these all of the features to make it.
Please, I have a question. My question is that
Our online people, I hope you're still with us.
uh, static website.
Static website.
Use HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, and to deploy it on GitHub.
GitHub.
So, is it possible for you to use this backend listing to update the other static websites so it becomes dynamic?
Yes. Yes. You can do that.
Okay, so but can I still deploy it on the same GitHub?
Mhm.
Can I deploy a dynamic website on GitHub?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You deploy dynamic website on GitHub actually, yeah. It's been done every single day. So I think at this juncture, we now call the class and then thank you very much. Online people, thank you very much. So we see again next week, same time, same time, same venue. Thank you very much. Do have a great day. Have a great week ahead. Thank you very much.
Yeah.